Merry Christmas.
I am Kwanzaa man myself.
Welcome to Rewind, a closer look, where we dig up forgotten action movies and figure out how something like this ever made it to television. Today we're looking at 2002's Christmas Rush, which feels like what would happen if the Hallmark Channel tried to make an action movie. It's also worth noting that Christmas Rush goes by a secondary title, Breakaway, which feels like the kind of name you give a TV movie when you're not sure if you're selling Christmas action or both. The movie is set in Chicago, but it was filmed in Canada, with most of the mall scenes shot at Portage Place Mall in Winnipeg, Manitoba, standing in for the fictional Chicago shopping center. The movie opens with Eric Roberts.
Charlie! They took my soul!
Who is playing a character named Scalzetti, which sounds less like a person and more like something you order with garlic bread. He is doing a voiceover layered over footage of a busy, supposedly Chicago shopping mall all dressed up for Christmas. He calmly explains that the holiday season is the most profitable time of year because nothing says Christmas spirit like aggressive consumer spending. Every night, all 57 stores dump their cash into a secure vault in the basement. The money is picked up once a week, with the final pickup scheduled for Christmas Eve. By then, the vault is holding somewhere between $10 and $12 million, which Eric helpfully explains is a lot of money, just in case anyone missed the point. Dean Cain,
Superman!
Do you need any help?
Nope.
plays a Chicago cop named Lieutenant Cornelius Morgan on a late-night stakeout outside a Chinese restaurant, sitting in a surveillance car with his partner and killing time. Their conversation drifts to money, which is how we learn that Dean is completely broke. Broke enough that Christmas shopping has become a genuine problem. It's a quick character beat, but it immediately sets the tone. This guy is already under pressure before the night even starts. Things escalate fast when a car pulls up and four guys jump out, immediately beating down the goons guarding the restaurant. And not in a grounded way, they go full Jackie Chan mode, flipping off walls and bouncing around the set like the stakeout accidentally wandered into a martial arts demo. Police cars flood the street, the four guys realize they're trapped, and things go from bad to worse when they grab an elderly woman as a hostage. Guns come up, shots ring out, and the street turns into chaos. Dean lines up his shot and fires at the guy holding the hostage. A full shootout erupts, police cars explode like they were pre-rigged, and somehow the guy Dean shot gets back up, forcing Dean to shoot him again. In the middle of all this, one of Dean's bullets either goes through the guy or misses completely and hits a civilian standing in the restaurant doorway, instantly flipping the moment from heroic to career-threatening. After the dust settles, Dean meets with the police chief. Despite saving the day in the loudest way possible, he's being suspended. We get a quick look at his record, a Medal of Valor on one side, excessive force complaints on the other. The movie's message is clear: he's a hero, but a complicated one. And the situation is worse than it first appears. The civilian Dean accidentally shot turns out to be a powerful community leader in Chinatown, a man with serious political connections and zero tolerance for stray bullets. This isn't just discipline. Dean could actually lose his job. From there, the movie hard pivots into Christmas mode. Dean drives home with a tree strapped to the roof of his minivan like a defeated suburban action hero. Inside, the kids decorate while Christmas music blasts, just in case the movie hasn't made its holiday intentions clear yet. We finally meet Dean's wife, Kat, played by Erica Eleniak, because of course the stressed-out TV cop married a Baywatch legend. She brings him a beer while he struggles to assemble a toy for the kids, proving once again that fighting criminals is easier than reading instructions. They talk about the suspension and the money problems. Kat suggests that maybe losing his job wouldn't be the worst thing. He could get a safer security gig, make more money, and she wouldn't have to worry all the time. Dean responds with one of the strangest lines in the movie.
And I don't have to worry whether or not you're coming home alive.
It is what it is. Honey, you walk down the aisle with a copper.
like he's channeling James Cagney.
A cop. A cop. How do you like that, boys? A cop.
Kat is immediately offended. When Dean asks why, she hits him with the classic movie wife response,
I don't like that word.
Why not?
You know why.
No, we don't. Dean then brings up his father, saying he did a lot of good. The movie doesn't explain this yet. It just drops the line and moves on, clearly planting something for later. They argue briefly, apologize, kiss, and reset, because this is a made-for-TV Christmas movie, and emotional conflicts are allowed to last a few minutes. At their kids' Christmas recital, Dean and Kat see Eric Roberts and his wife having a very serious conversation about their son. His leukemia has returned and they need $250,000 for a bone marrow transplant. What's wild is that this conversation is happening right there in the theater, immediately after the kid's performance. Not at home, not in private, just, great job on your recital. Also, your leukemia is back. It's heavy, public, and incredibly awkward, but the motivation is crystal clear. Eric notices Dean watching and casually strolls over. These two already have history. Dean and his partner once put Eric away back when he was a thief. Dean's partner starts hassling him right there, while Dean surprisingly plays peacemaker, insisting Eric is retired now and should be left alone. The exchange is tense, polite, and deeply uncomfortable. After a few awkward beats, Eric excuses himself and walks away, leaving behind a moment that feels way too coincidental to be innocent. And just like that, the movie has connected our cop, our thief, and a very specific medical bill, and we're still in the first act. We cut to a secret nighttime meeting by the river because no criminal plan is ever discussed indoors under good lighting. This is where Eric lays out the plan we've already been warned about, robbing the mall vault on Christmas Eve to get the money for his son's operation. The movie leans hard into framing this as desperation, not greed, but it's still a full-on organized heist. The crew is introduced, everyone has a role, and there's just enough tension between them to let us know things aren't going to stay clean. By the end of the meeting, the plan is locked in. The movie has officially shifted from Christmas drama into holiday heist mode, and Dean Cain is perfectly positioned to get in the way. After leaving church with Kat, Dean is quietly handed a summons because nothing says Merry Christmas like legal paperwork on the sidewalk. The man Dean shot is suing the city for $40 million, and just to really twist the knife, Dean is personally named in the lawsuit. Dean reacts by making a joke. Kat reacts by not laughing at all. She explains this is serious, that their entire future might be on the line.
You think this is a joke?
Yeah, it's a real thigh slapper, honey. Don't be stupid.
Which is an incredible way to keep an argument from escalating. Kat storms off, and the movie officially stacks the pressure. Dean is suspended, possibly fired, broke, being sued for $40 million, and now fighting with his wife, all before the heist he doesn't know about even starts. Then we get one of the best visual gags in the movie. Victorian-style Christmas carolers stroll down the street singing cheerfully, full Dickens energy. Right behind them, a biker gang rolls into frame. Leather jackets, engines roaring, zero holiday spirit. It's a fantastic juxtaposition. The bikers head into a bar, the door closes, a three-legged cat hops out of a dumpster, and seconds later the dumpster explodes, wiping out all the motorcycles. No dialogue, no explanation, just Christmas chaos. Back at home, Dean is calling around trying to find a lawyer willing to take a $40 million lawsuit on Christmas Eve. While he's getting nowhere, the news reports the bombing we just saw. Dean clocks it, but it's just one more problem on an already bad night. His mother-in-law pops in to offer the classic "don't go to bed angry" advice, which also means Kat has already told her everything. That's when you know the fight was serious. Dean takes the hint and decides to go pick Kat up from work so they can talk it out on the drive home like functional adults in a TV movie. We arrive at the mall just as it's closing, and we learn an important detail. Kat works here at a jewelry store, which is great because this movie believes in putting all the danger in one location. As the mall empties, Eric Roberts slips inside with the last wave of shoppers and meets up with his crew. Dean spots him almost immediately, because when you've personally arrested a guy before, you tend to notice when he shows up on Christmas Eve looking extremely focused. Dean ducks out of sight and watches as Eric links up with his team, followed by one of the most gloriously unnecessary slow-motion crew walks ever filmed. Using a hacked keycard, the crew accesses a restricted area. As the door starts to close, Dean sprints forward and catches it just in time because this movie still believes in action hero reflexes. They head down toward the freight elevator. Dean watches, knows something bad is about to happen, and makes a choice. Instead of fixing his marriage, he decides to follow a heavily armed crew into the basement alone, while suspended and emotionally wrecked. Action movie priorities. He climbs into the elevator shaft and drops onto the moving elevator below. Meanwhile, Eric's crew takes over security, waits for the guards to roll out the cash cart, and then pulls guns. Just as the heist kicks into gear, hard cut to black. Commercial break.
Tonight on KidsNet, the cartoon sensation that's taking the Asian block by storm is now available for your home directly. He's ultimate criminal maniac cyborg police officer. Witness his path of destruction as he eliminates the problems of homelessness in our cities. Homeless ninja are everywhere, but cyborg police officer cleans the slate with his phantom tiger punch and neutron tension gun. Join him or die.
When we come back, the guards are forced back into the utility room, and the money cart is rolled out into the hallway. Eric heads to the camera room and swaps the security tapes, locking in the crime like a guy who has absolutely done this before. Dean peeks out of the elevator and realizes there's only one guard left watching the entire cash haul. $10 to $12 million. One guy.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
He sneaks up, knocks the guard out, and steals the cart. Another goon spots him, shots are fired, nobody hits anything, and Dean escapes by slamming the cart into an elevator and riding away. The gunfire alerts the crew, and Eric realizes the plan has gone sideways.
Son of a bitch.
The money is gone. What was supposed to be a clean heist instantly turns into an angry mall-wide search. The crew fans out, locking down the mall and taking hostages, including a mall Santa, a mother, and a kid. Because if you're doing a Christmas movie, you might as well commit. Eric watches the cameras and spots Dean. He recognizes him immediately as the cop who put him away. From this point on, it's personal. The hostages are herded into a storeroom with the captured guards, consolidating everyone into one very festive nightmare. The mall is now fully under criminal control. Eric has eyes everywhere, and Dean Cain is officially the main problem. Eric updates his crew and makes it clear Dean is a cop. We also learn a fun mall fact: break a single store window and every alarm goes off at once, a detail that exists purely to limit Dean's options. Dean drags the cash cart into a washroom, shoves it into a stall, and leaves it there like a raccoon hiding treasure. Naturally, this is about the time when you start asking where the hell Dean's wife is. The writers must have thought the same thing because Dean uses a payphone to call Kat's store and misses her by seconds. She's locking up and heading out alone. Timing, once again, is terrible. As Kat walks through the mall, distracted and stressed, and head down, she immediately walks right into a henchman. So naturally, she's taken at gunpoint and escorted to the hostage room, officially tying Dean's personal life directly into the heist. The movie has now removed any remaining emotional safety net. Dean tries calling his partner for backup. Before he can say much, the phone booth explodes from a shotgun blast, shattering glass and cutting the line. Dean hits the floor and realizes they're watching him on the cameras. He shoots one out, officially declaring war on mall surveillance. What follows is one of the movie's better action stretches: gunfire, exploding displays, random mall junk detonating on impact. It's loud, chaotic, and way more energetic than you'd expect from a TV movie. The fight turns into close combat near a railing. The goon lets go. Dean falls, crashes onto a Christmas decoration, manages to shoot the goon before the support wire snaps and he drops straight into the giant mall tree like a budget Rambo. Coincidentally, Rambo is a Christmas movie too.
Hey, Will.
Lester.
All right, got it.
Charlie, buzz us in, will you?
The tree collapses, Dean rides it down. And a massive Peace on Earth banner drifts behind him. It's meant to be symbolic. It feels like Jurassic Park with tinsel. Hard cut to black. Commercial break.
Atomo! Atomo is cool. I love Atomo. Atomo is cool. Atomo is my friend. Atomo is my best friend. I love Atomo. Atomo is my god. Tomo, 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 Tomo. Atomo, Tomo, 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 Tomo. Give me a Tomo or hold my breath and die. You're a bad mommy if you don't buy me a Tomo. You don't love me. I want a Tomo. I need a Tomo. I am a Tomo.
When we come back from the break, we check in on the cash transport truck, now parked way out by the lake like it's trying to avoid the rest of the movie. One of the goons' radios dispatch claiming the engine has seized. Dispatch tells him a tow truck is on the way in about an hour. That's when Eric starts a literal timer. Not metaphorical tension, an actual countdown clock. The movie wants us to feel every second of this. From here on out, everything is on the clock. The mall is locked down, the money is hidden, Dean is battered but moving, and Eric has exactly 60 minutes before this turns into a full-blown disaster. The crew starts rigging doors with explosives, and while back in the hostage storeroom, Kat starts praying out loud. It's sincere, it's very made for TV, and it's happening while armed criminals are wiring bombs on the other side of the wall. Dean keeps fighting his way through the mall. More gunfire, more exploding displays. He escapes into a department store. Apparently breaking windows no longer trigger the alarms. Don't worry about it, the movie doesn't. He runs up an escalator, dumps soap at the top, and the pursuing goon wipes out like he is in stone cold. Dean ends up in the sporting goods section, runs out of ammo, grabs a climbing axe, smashes open the rifle case, and discovers every gun has a trigger lock. Because apparently this store takes responsibility very seriously. The goon catches up, and the movie gives us a full-on hockey stick sword fight. It's ridiculous. It's funny. It absolutely belongs here.
You know, I never even played hockey.
And once again, channeling his inner Rambo, Dean finishes the fight with a bow and arrow. He then steals the goon's radio and calls Eric, pretending to be the dead goon. He claims he has Dean pinned down in the third-floor bathroom. Back in the hostage room, the hostages start sharing stories of their favorite Christmas.
Up on Hemingway and Ruark. Once the last kid finally moved out, I took my wife on safari to East Africa. We had Christmas dinner out on the Serengeti Plain, watching the zebras and elephants stroll by.
Beautiful. Rashid?
I'm a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Saint Nick, it's your turn.
It's like the movie suddenly realizes it has no idea what to do with that answer, so it just ignores it and moves on. Dean finally finds a cell phone and reaches his partner, explaining the mall robbery, the hostages, and the missing cash. Backup is officially on the way. eventually. Eric sends 2 goons to the bathroom. They don't check the room. They throw in a grenade. Smoke, bullets, chaos. And Dean is nowhere near it. Afterward, he rappels down behind them, and just as it looks under control, a smoke grenade goes off. Over the radio, Eric's voice comes through. He has Cat, hard cut to black. Commercial break.
For clothes that Tristan lost. At Bold 3 Detergent Plus Fabric Softener. Spray. Relief.
When we return, Dean escapes into an electronics store. He rigs a handycam as a DIY security system, distracts a goon with a loud action movie on a TV, shoots him, and the guy responds by pulling a grenade and blowing himself out a storefront window. Not how I would react to being shot, but sure. Eric and Dean negotiate over the radio, money for wife. The last explosives guy pulls out a brick of C4, then backs off once he learns Cat is leverage.
You hear that? Huh? He's got your wife.
Yeah, I know. Brainiac, thank you.
I'm leaving now.
Eric gives Dean 2 minutes and makes the threat very clear.
My style, Morgan, is that if you don't get me my money, I'm gonna gut your wife like a pig.
Dean goes back for the cash card and finds it missing. The earlier goon isn't dead and is trying to escape with it. Another elevator fight.
Didn't we already do this?
A knife wound for Dean, and a quick reminder not to bring a knife to a gunfight. Dean secures the cash and radios Eric just in time. The exchange happens in the open mall. Eric walks Cat out with the one remaining goon. Dean sends the cash cart down one escalator while Cat rides up another. It's slow, tense, and actually a clever visual. Eric checks the cart. It's full. They nod, honoring the deal, and Eric walks away. Dean and Cat reunite. She tells him he's not his father. Dean says he still has to make up for him. Then Dean does something wild. He hands Cat a gun and tells her to stay put, because this is apparently couples therapy now. The pipe bombs are still rigged, and Dean disarms them using a clothespin. Where did it come from? Who knows? It's Christmas. He opens the door and starts cutting the zip ties off the hostages. The little girl looks up at him and asks,
Are you the angel of mercy?
What, are you retarded?
The movie is not being subtle. Eric moves to the parking garage with a sewer map and locator. Dean sneaks up and gets the drop on him. Eric pleads his case, offers Dean a bag of money, and then drops the real bomb. Dean's father took a bribe. Dean again radios for backup. His partner steps out of the shadows. Betrayal. Commercial break. Back from break, Dean is disarmed while Eric preps the escape. The partner explains Dean ruined the perfect score and now has to go. Dean appeals to their history. The partner doesn't care. He replies, "This is Chicago."
Chicago! You're out of there! Go on, you're gone. Go on.
As if that clears anything up. Cat shows up, fires wildly, and gives Dean just enough distraction to shoot his partner. At the same time, Eric detonates the explosives and escapes into the sewers with Cat and the last goon. Down below, we discover that Eric has pre-positioned dune buggies in the
Little dune buggy in the sand.
Sewer tunnels, ready to haul both criminals and cash into the night. Because of course he did. This man planned everything, except Dean Cain. Eric, his last remaining goon, and Cat speed away through the sewer tunnels in their dune buggies, and Dean immediately jumps down after them. Conveniently, there is one extra vehicle just sitting there, like the sewer anticipated a heroic pursuit. Dean hops in and gives chase. Eventually, he gets close enough that they notice him, and the remaining goon responds the only way action movie henchmen know how, by throwing a grenade backward. It explodes just behind Dean, narrowly missing him but conveniently collapsing part of the tunnel and blocking the path with rubble. Dean stops, gets out, and looks at the blockage. He attempts to climb it, then gives up almost immediately, even though, yes, he probably could have climbed over it without much trouble. But the movie has decided this is an emotional defeat moment, so it counts. Undeterred, Dean does a quick rethink, spins the buggy around, and heads off in the other direction, hoping the tunnels loop back around. Cut back to Eric. His escape plan hits a snag when he and the goon reach a dead end and are forced to turn around, which means, surprise, they're heading straight back toward Dean. The buggies meet head-on. Dean swerves when he sees Kat, shoots the last goon, and continues the chase. Eric forces Kat up a ladder, sends the buggy off with a rock on the gas pedal, and Kat drops her necklace as a breadcrumb. Dean follows. This time the 911 call connects, but Dean talks too loud. Eric hears him, fires, and runs. The cops flood the area. In the tunnel, Kat's heel gets stuck. Eric and Dean fire at each other in open space, somehow missing everything. They collide and fight while a strobe light flashes for no clear reason. Then, silence. Dean quietly tells the officers to be quiet, and we all pause as we hear footsteps echoing somewhere nearby. It's one of those moments clearly meant to build tension, though all I can think of is Mr. Marbles sneaking around the tunnel.
Mr. Marbles?
The cops arrive. Eric tries one last escape up a ladder, gets lit up, almost makes it out, and collapses just short of freedom. Before dying, he asks Dean to take care of his son. The movie pauses to let that land. At the hospital, we learn the kid still can't afford the transplant until the chief shows up, gives Dean his badge back, says the lawsuit is dropped, and hands him an insurance check. Dean gives it to Eric's wife.
It's a Festivus miracle!
The chief promotes Dean to captain on the spot.
Merry Christmas, Captain Morgan.
They got a little captain in them. Got a little captain in you. Drink responsibly.
In the hospital hallway because paperwork doesn't exist in this universe. The movie ends with the Cain family sitting around the dinner table, praying together. Because if there's one thing this movie wants you to know, it's that Christmas is about faith, forgiveness, family, and light automatic gunfire. Honestly, this is a solid Christmas action movie. If you're looking for a die-hard style movie where there's no debate whatsoever about whether it's a Christmas movie, Christmas Rush absolutely qualifies. Trees, carols, mall Santas, prayers, miracles, the whole checklist. The shootouts are fun, the action is surprisingly creative, and for a made-for-TV movie, this thing goes way harder than it has any right to. It's also a shame we don't really get these anymore. Now they just get dumped onto streaming services and buried under an endless sea of algorithmic slop. Dean Cain is always solid in this era, and Eric Roberts is straight-up B-movie royalty here. It's especially nice seeing him actually moving around, doing things, and not just sitting in a room talking on the phone while still getting top billing. That's gonna do it for this episode of Rewind: A Closer Look. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Rewind episodes and deep-cut action weirdness. If you've seen Christmas Rush, drop a comment and let me know what you thought. And if you haven't, throw it on when you want a holiday action movie where there's zero debate about whether it counts as Christmas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
How's the house?
Roof fell in.
How'd the wife take?
She was on the roof.